Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 3 of Sigvald the Magnificent's narrative campaign. At the end of the last part, the Norscan dwarfs sallied out of their famous hold to protect Thurgram the Ironheart from the approaching Slaaneshi horde. It was a disaster. Ambushed, surrounded, and cut off from the rest of the garrison, the Norse dwarfs learned what it means to defy a chaos god and his champion. Agonizing deaths to the last, a brave stand that no one will remember. And with that, Krakadrak, the final dwarf hold in the north, was plundered and blown to pieces underground by Slaaneshi demon engines. Perhaps a few of them remained somewhere in the north, Sigvald mused, but they would never regain their strength in Norska. A few days after the destruction of Krakadrak, Vigo the Beslimed, a powerful death sorcerer, arrives with news for the Decadent Host. The mountains of Hell and the provincial capital of Aesling's conclave lie currently undefended. An important Varg settlement, and with bitter hatred still brewing between the followers of Khorne and Slaanesh, Sigvald relishes the opportunity to strike deep into the heart of Norska and possibly end the war in a decisive blow. However, he also realizes the Decadent Host is meant for much more than never-ending war with the northern powers. The realms of the old world beckon, the disgusting greenskins, the rotting flesh of the undead in Sylvania, and the Bretonnian nobility, who dare to rival Sigvald's gilded palace with their massive castles in Lyon and Artois. All must be taught a lesson in humility and bow low before the Prince of Pleasure. Soon, the Decadent Host must move south, but not before the Varg are bled. Vigo is a death sorcerer, those champions of chaos who seek mastery over the magical arts. Chaos sorcerers wield the wild energies of entropy itself, reshaping reality to better serve their whims and those of their dark masters. A word and a gesture from a chaos sorcerer can strip a man's flesh from his bones, force a lover to murder his beloved, or cause a regiment of soldiers to burst into flame. They are amongst the most awful and depraved of all servants of chaos, for they long ago sold their souls in exchange for the heady elixir of pure power. Where many of the world's wizards, such as those taught by the colleges of magic in Altdorf, glean their arcane skill from long years of painstaking research, a chaos sorcerer's understanding of the winds of magic is instant and innate. However, without the patience and wisdom that such study brings, a chaos sorcerer lacks due wariness and respect for the ultimate dangers of magic, and so begins an inexorable descent into deformity and madness. Many are the paths that lead to this ultimate fate, but most often, the chaos sorcerer seeks to expand his magical powers or harness more of the occult by simply bartering away another fraction of his soul, losing a little more of his humanity in the process. Before long, the aspirant feels his whole body and mind twist and alter, and as the gnawed remnants of his soul are finally devoured, he is plunged into the whirlpools of insanity, leaving behind nothing of the man he once was. The Chaos Gods take special notice of the champion Sigvald, for throughout the course of his campaign he has laid waste to many of his enemies, but each power has his own agenda. Nurgle wishes for control of the temperate southern regions, perfect for his unctuous poxes to spread. Slaanesh desires the colder north, where men look to their warm beds for vices and carnal sport. As quick as lightning, Sigvald descends from the mountains of Hell with the Decadent Host, and the meager garrison is cut to ribbons by Slaaneshi Mirror Guard, the chosen of the Dark Prince. In the heart of battle, Sigvald is a blur, painting the moonlit night crimson with his pinpoint strikes. The Varg stand no chance, the city is sacked, the war chest grows, and blood carves steaming rivers through the freezing snows.
Bring my mirror shield.
First, Aesling's conclave falls, then Sarl's encampment, then the Naglfari plain, a hellish landscape with lakes of steaming blood. In quick succession, the garrisons fall to the blades of chaos, nothing but token resistance. Sigvald's feint into Kislev and subsequent retreat into Norska has made him the richest and most powerful warlord in the north. Mountains of gold and precious jewels, and the finest demonic and Norscan weapons accompany his accursed army, bringing slaughter and exquisite pain to the enemies of Slaanesh. But the Guild Prince feels incomplete. His current armor is fine beyond all measure, protection fit for a king. But Sigvald is so much more, and the champion of Slaanesh deserves finery to rival that of a god. The Auric armor calls to him, a sculpted suit forged from ensorcelled gold, tendrils of dark energy caressing the skin of the wearer, closing his wounds with a tender touch. unmitigated pleasure for the wearer, and unimaginable pain for those who would seek to harm him in combat. But more than incomplete, the Geld Prince feels bored. The Chaos Wastes are all well and good, as far as such things go, but they lack certain comforts that a man of Sigvald's refined tastes have come to expect. Sigvald is the chosen scion of Slaanesh, the Dark Prince of Chaos. Known as the Lord of Excess, Slaanesh is the master of passions and sensual indulgence, but also of cruel torments and despairing agony. He is the patron of the obsessive, and his attention is drawn to those who inflict pain to satisfy their own desires. As the adopted son of Slaanesh, Sigvald is the personification of beauty on the outside, but rot within. He is attended by dozens of admirers who attend every perverse whim and desire, but a man can never have too many admirers. As he stands in the midst of battle, preening and murmuring compliments to himself while beings die around him, he has a whim to gather more perfectly skilled retainers to share in this adulation, holding mirrors so he might see himself more clearly. Expanding the Mirror Guard retinue, more Chaos Chosen will soon join the army. CA, please add Mirror Guard for Sigvald. That would be really cool. As he prepares for bed that night with a harem of bestial yet hauntingly handsome and beautiful admirers lying naked by his side, he has no desire to partake in carnal pleasure. His mind is utterly consumed by visions of perfect gold armor encasing his chiseled form. The field of battle is his playground, where his dark father can revel in his son's cruel deeds, but it is also a place of squalor, of mud, blood, and vile substances. In every battle, he is constantly inconvenienced by the need to clean some vile taint from his otherwise spotless armor, be it dirt or the life's blood of his latest victim. These interruptions are irksome in the extreme, and they deprive his followers of precious moments in which to admire and praise their lord's perfection. Reluctantly, Sigvald summons the death sorcerer Vigo the Beslime to his side. Though the man bears unsightly mutations and cannot be described as sweet-smelling, the fact that he has traded his very soul in servitude to the magic of the dark gods means that he may be able to locate the armor that haunts the prince's dreams. The mad sorcerer rants wild-eyed of the many visions gifted to him by the ruinous powers. There is much spittle-flecked talk of lakes of blood, of crystalline butterflies, of gardens of rot, and so on. Sigvald finds his attention wandering to a complacent consideration of the perfection in his own immaculately manicured hand. However, his attention snaps back to Vigo when the man's meanderings touch upon a great lord in shining baroque armor of ensorcelled gold, forever untarnished by age or the tiniest fleck of dirt. The ground reshapes itself to let the warrior pass, and his feet float an inch above the world's surface, so that his boots are never touched by the mud or gore of the battlefield. There follows some babbling about the defensive properties of this wondrous mail, but Sigvald hears none of it, as he orders the sorcerer forth to investigate. Vigo the Beslimed will head to the Bearsingling camp in the Goramadni Mountains, and find where this Chaos Lord is marching. Sigvald will have his armor, one way or another. For days, Sigvald raged, spreading his corruption to the hovels on the shores of the Kraken Sea, tormenting those unworthy to join his beautiful and joyous horde. The sorcerer was taking far too long. Perhaps Vigo had betrayed his masters, joining the Varg or pledging himself to Tzeentch. The thought made him physically sick, his every thought utterly consumed by the Chaos Lord gallivanting in armor that didn't belong to him. A sorcerer who should have accomplished his task already. But finally, a message arrived, carried on a mad wind, a voice echoing deep in the recesses of Sigvald's mind. The Golden Warrior had been located, and Vigo stood ready to transport his lord to the location, near the Tower of Krak in the Trollheim Mountains. His name is Barbarous Bubonicus, a dangerous lord of Chaos Undivided, with a powerful host at his back. Hundreds of battle-hardened chosen, armored trolls, Chaos Knights, and a mutated giant will push the Decadent Host to their very limits in battle. Sigvald doesn't care. The armor is his, and he will gladly sacrifice thousands of his Slaaneshi friends to have such finery adorning his form. Sigvald takes one more night to spite his hated enemies of Khorne, bleeding the Varg camp of all of its resources and people, handing prisoners to his captains for twisted pleasure. Tomorrow, war comes to Bubonicus at the foot of the Golden Monolith. The most striking features of Norsca raised by mortal and immortal hand alike are the great monoliths that dot the primeval wilderness. These ungodly monuments serve as focal points for channeling the raw power of chaos, and sorcerers who find themselves near these constructs will likely find their powers greatly augmented by their proximity. Those with the courage to look upon them more closely are like to find runic inscriptions in the Norscan tongue writ clearly upon them. These inscriptions often foretell the sagas of the great heroes of Norsca, the champions of chaos. Chaos monoliths, as they're known, are towering runestones raised by the Norse tribes for the commemoration of some legendary tribal hero or king, for some deed of martial majesty that won that figure the renown of the dark gods. They are most often raised with stone, but can be composed of more esoteric material as a result of Norsca's otherworldly qualities. Bone, bloody flesh, marble, precious gems, and so on. These are all examples of materials chaos monoliths are composed of. The Golden Monolith is one such monument, raised for Slaanesh in all of his perverse glory, and it is here that Sigvald will end Bubonicus and finally take his armor.
Ah! My loyal minions! Over the way stands something I want. I need! Beatific mail, wasted on the clueless worm who wears it. It is only right I take it from him. And if you, my serfs, die in agony during the attempt, then know that I'll feel your pain. Why, I will relish it! To the champion in my armor. Yes, you may have heard of me. I am Sigvald the Magnificent, the Gerald Prince of Slaanesh. I do not blame you if hearing my name has caused you to void your vows. Just make sure the Auric armor is clean when I come to take it. You could hand it straight over, of course, but I have seen your kind before. You will be irksome and make me fight for it. No matter, I could do with a workout, but do not overvex me, or your death cry will be especially shrill. And I do hate to taint my ears with such cacophonic nonsense, if I can bear it! Especially shrill. And I do hate to taint my ears with such cacophonic nonsense, if I can bear it!
Thank you for repeating yourself, Sigvald. Definitely don't want to be offending Slaanesh with your silence now, do we? The hordes of Bubonicus are slowly approaching the Decadent Host now, and they are going to prove quite a challenge. 2 chosen halberds, 2 chosen with great weapons, a Chaos Giant currently getting sniped by the pulsating pleasure cannon, 3 Chaos Knights, armored trolls on the field. Not going to be an easy fight for our Slaaneshi heroes. I have taken a position up top on the mountainside, trying to get a little bit of a terrain advantage against this Chaos Rush that's coming in now. Chosen with great weapons will be a big problem, and so will the Chaos Giant, so the pulsating pleasure cannon definitely going to be focusing them down. I want to do as much HP damage to that Chaos Giant as possible before he closes into melee. And on the right flank, Chaos Knights are moving into a position to flank, and I'm trying to get my Marauder Horsemen and Halberds to a spot where I can shut down the Chaos Knight charges and end them rightly. Get a good overview of the battle on the tactical map, and those Marauder Horsemen moving up on my left flank are going to be super annoying. This is one of the most frustrating things in dealing with Chaos. Those throwing axes and the javelins can do a lot of damage to your units that don't have a shield block chance. I really shouldn't be chasing them. I have absolutely no hope of catching them, and it will kind of draw my forces out and maybe allow those Chaos Knights to get some charges off. Over here, Chaos Knights are going to try to go for a charge. Not a very good one, and I'm going to throw some javelins in there. Marauder Horsemen getting tied down a bit, but I do have my halberds and chosen with great weapons backing them up. Should be able to cut through these Chaos Knights relatively easily, and we'll see some nice spinning halberd animations. Those will hopefully be able to drop the Chaos Knights pretty quick. Hell Cannon still firing into the Giant, and Barbarous Bubonicus has charged directly into the Chaos Warriors. Will be doing work in the center with his AoE attacks. He'll take a lot of effort to bring down, especially because Sigvald is starting to be committed over on the left side. I'm going to be sending him into melee pretty soon. Chaos Giant moving up now, and the Armored Troll charge coming in. That is going to do a ton of damage to my Chaos Warrior front line. Not really the unit you want to be engaging Armored Trolls with. Again, the Armored Trolls do have very low leadership, only 30 leadership, so they rout very easily, but they pack quite a punch and will definitely put the hurt on Chaos Warriors. So, gonna need to reinforce. You see some vomit going off now. just throwing their bile everywhere. Hell Cannon still trying to take down the Giant. And then over here, Sigvald has been committed to the Chaos Knights. Should be able to drop them pretty easily each attack, dropping a couple models at least. Oh, well, that one didn't, but I'm going to be buffing my guys, keeping them in the fight. He's going to get knocked down, try to kill the Chaos Knights, and they're going to pull out and going to be doing a little bit more chasing there. Hopefully be able to tie them down. Chaos Spawn moving into a flanking position, as are some of the Chaos Warriors. And over on the right side, more of Barbarous Bubonicus's Chaos Warriors have been committed, and he's starting to put the hurt on my right flank. These Chaos Knights, backed up by some other Chaos Warriors and the Marauder Horsemen, are doing quite a bit of damage. You can see my Chaos Warriors getting whittled down, and I am losing my Halberds as well. So my right flank is collapsing a bit, kind of overwhelmed on that side, and Marauder Horsemen moving up to maybe kill some of my routing units. In the center, doing much better. Chaos Giant has taken a ton of HP damage, very low now, slamming some of my Chaos Warriors on the ground. And Chaos Spawn going to get a fantastic hammer and anvil off into the back of this line. Going to do a lot of damage there. They have insane weapon strength, so they'll be doing a lot of work in the Chaos Warriors back line. And I should be able to break the center pretty easily here. But there will be more reinforcements for Bubonicus's troops coming. You can see them streaming in now. That's the second wave, and the third wave is off in the distance by the red line, which is no longer a red line, it's a white line. That made me mad. I wish Creative Assembly would change it back to red. You can't actually see it on debug camera when you're zoomed really far out. Sigvald is doing a ton of damage over there and helping me win the left flank. Probably would have been better used on the right flank looking back on it. But yeah, a lot of my troops are routing over on that side. Balance power has actually shifted a little bit in the AI's favor. This has not been an easy fight at all. A lot of my troops have taken significant casualties and HP damage. Hell Cannon moving up, and some Chaos Warriors from the enemy wrapping up on my right flank, trying to get a rear charge off. Azabor, the champion of Chaos Undivided, charging in, just cutting a swath of destruction through them right there. And Chaos Spawn getting another rear charge off. The Chaos Spawn have done a lot of work for me this battle. They've been very important. And these reinforcements from the Chaos troops are actually going to be a serious problem. More armored trolls charging in now. Sigvald about to go to work on them. He's going to get knocked over. But I would imagine as soon as he stands back up, he's going to unleash his wrath on the armored trolls. Should be able to kill them pretty easily. Maybe get a sync kill. Alright, he's going to bash one in the head with his shield. Mirror shield, one armored troll going to go down. Come on, Siggy. Another one going to go down with a spinning attack. And that rapier doing a lot of work on the armored troll. So they're going to run from the field. They might have just shattered, actually. So I'm not sure they'll be coming back. Chaos Giant kind of walking around listlessly. And this is where I have to say, guys, yes, this replay is corrupted. It has reinforcements in it. Any battle that has reinforcements seems to be corrupted. It doesn't seem to be much of an issue in siege battles or regular battles, but any battles with reinforcements do seem to get corrupted, even the quest battles where the game doesn't re-roll where the reinforcements come in from. So it's quite a bizarre bug, but don't worry, I've already recorded the gameplay for the next 2 parts of the campaign. There are a lot of really epic battles coming up that play out perfectly in the replay, so it's not like every part of Sigvald's narrative is going to have this issue. It's just going to be in the quest battles, so I'll be sure to live record those and any battles with reinforcements in them. Chosen and Chaos Warriors fighting to their last breath, dying to a man in the snow. Also that their Geld Prince may finally acquire the Auric armor. And what I can do is attach the live recording to the end of this battle of what I had. It's not the entire battle, but it is a lot of it. You can finally see what I do when I'm playing live with my micro and stuff. And it won't have any commentary. But I also did have debug camera disabled for that battle, so my micro will be a little bit sloppier than normal, but that's not really a big deal. This was one of the toughest battles I've fought in any campaign so far. AI gave me a run for my money here just because of their troop quality and their numbers. So I'll attach that to the end of the campaign so you can see it, and we can go back to the campaign map. Things are about to get really weird in the replay. I'll see you back in the campaign. The armor is his, finally, after weeks of mental anguish, raging and yearning for the location of this exquisite work of art. Sigvald drapes his body in pure gold, and feels the dark powers of chaos rippling throughout. He feels energized, more powerful than he has ever felt before, as he floats an inch above the ground, warm perfumed air rippling around his body. A feast is called for the survivors of the Decadent Host. They will need time to rebuild their strength, to recover from their wounds, and replace the dead. But Sigvald has won. That's all that matters. The Slaaneshi horde parties deep into the night, the finest human flesh, cooked to perfection, Wondrous dishes and the finest drugs in Sigvald's possession, all passed around, amplifying each sensation and taste 1,000-fold. Captured high elf maidens, wasting away, without the desire to eat or live anymore, sing their beautiful dirges, death songs passed down through the generations. They bring a tear to Sigvald's eye, and he calls for wine, the greatest of all barrels taken from the Baron of Lyon's personal stores. The barrel is uncorked, and the Geld Prince is the first to taste. He puts the gold chalice to his lips, drinks, swallows, and immediately beheads the unfortunate marauder tasked with uncorking the barrel. Disgusting, unpalatable, absolutely unbefitting of the champion of Slaanesh. The grape to alcohol ratio is all wrong. It's too bitter and completely offensive to his senses. The Bretonnians, gaudy nobles, offending Slaanesh with their outdated codes of chivalry and blatant copies of the Gilded Palace. Their castles rising high into the cloudless sky, reaching for perfection they could never hope to attain. And apparently, makers of swill unfit for a dog, much less the Prince of Pleasure. Sigvald will teach them a lesson, and lay waste to their hovels and their people. The Decadent Host sails for Lyon, and the west coast of Bretonnia, and he will teach them to fear chaos and the bite of his rapier. King Lewin's people will suffer, and his country will burn.
My gods call! Soon! All will be hell! Strength! Chosen! The eye opens! My gods call! Your will! That's what the masters think! Tremble, mortals! No, sir! Roar! Vengeance many glories. Teaches many glories. Shows her. No, sir. Tried bandit. Mortal caress. Bring their heads. My dark prince calls. Pasta! Our blades hunger! Chaos comes! Nobles, pestilent glory! Choose! Chaos comes! Slaanesh's perverse. Marauder horsemen! What? Slay every eye of the gods! My gods call! Slaanesh is perverse! Chaos comes! The gods will! Marauder horsemen! Surrender! The god there will be done! Corpse honor! Chosen! For the chaos gods! Blood for the blood god! Ready! Very well! Corpse bloody! Name your demand! be it for the Masters! Chaos gods! Where's you be? Fight! Yes! They will succumb! Now is our time! But they will succumb! Chaos reigns! Masters, witness me! Yes, Lord! Quick! And... At last! Carnage! Soldier! Move fast! The Masters speak! Slay every mortal! Charge them! Choose! Very well! Mortal fool! Choose! What? Bring carnage! Tremble! All will be destroyed! Nurgle's pestilent glory! All will be despoiled! Blood for all! I am exalted! Attend me! Yes? I do as you bid! Choose! Despoil him! Rid their souls! Faster! The only master! Marauder horseman! Mortal fool! Yes! Chaos comes! God comes! Exalted hero! Now, my god's call! Sigvald! What? For the bastards! Destroy them! The dark gods command me! So be it! Show the chaos is strength! Ah! What do you mean? Anarchy for all! Searching will I won't fail! My knees hold! My god's call! Khan's bloody glory! Slaanesh is perverse glory! Choose Nurgle's glory! The Geld Prince speaks. Reach their souls! Exalted hero, my ghost child! Choose! What? There will be done! Chosen! Blood for the blood god! Slay every mortal! Exalted hero! Such unholy resilience! For the Chaos Gods! For the Chaos God!